Okay, this is another wonderful day, and today is an interesting one because I keep seeing new things on these timelines and so many videos to share from these players. This is player one. Player one is a female, and she's talking about this current simulation and the year 2025 Earth year. And she's also talking about some good things and some conspiracy theory. We will be comparing her video with another guy who is player B, and he's talking about his teleportation device that he's building. So let's see how high a player is within his current age of information. So let's see player A.
Live got shut down halfway through, especially during some truth bombing moments. So, fingers crossed that this is going to be all right, because we're going to talk about some truth bombs today as well. If you've ever wondered about a giant blackout potential situation happening on planet Earth, that's what I'm going to cover today. Just a reminder, I am a remote viewer, and specifically where I gained access to this information is through remote viewing the most probable situations connected to the collective consciousness on planet Earth. Please keep in mind that there is no psychic who could ever be 100% correct. And the reason why is because we are simply tapping into future probabilities and timelines. In this weird quantum world, all timelines are existing simultaneously, and it is truly up to the free will of both the individual and the collective to determine where we go from here. Now, this is a very important statement to make because we're also going to be talking about a brand new TV show that just recently came out that triggered the topic that I'm talking about today. And I want to talk about something called predictive programming, what it is, how it affects us, and how we can essentially thwart predictive programming with our conscious awareness. So we're going to get into all of that. I do have a probability for you, a percentage of what is the most likely chance we are going to get hit with some sort of blackout situation, whether that be through an attack, an agenda, or potentially even a solar flare. So we're going to get into that today. Without further ado, before I get into it, please be sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and share this video to other conspiracy theorists or people who are just in your life who are questioning the narrative. I think a lot of people are waking up right now, and it's really nice to...
Yeah. That was the first few minutes there from player A. And now we should at least give a few minutes to player B. Then you can sit and process the thought view from the both of them and let me know which player is doing perfecto. Then we can create them as player of the day, player with the highest thought, player with the higher player that heal or touch or inspire the highest amount of people within a game. And this is player B.
Coral there you can see the copper gold, an 8mm mild steel rod. Over it, we're going to put a 6mm thick piece of aluminium. And then when I turn on 240 volts of AC power, it jumps up. It also works for bigger pieces of aluminium.
Player A is probably an air sign, and she's sharing ideas. Player B is probably an earth sign. He's practical, and he's, he might be a Virgo. And player A, she might be a well, I think she's Gemini, or got something with Gemini to do with Gemini. And player B, I think he's Virgo, or got something to do with Virgo. Okay, so yeah, so let's take player A, then we'll come back to player B.
Have somewhere to go with all of your questions. Not that I have all the answers, but we're getting there. We're working on it. All right. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So let's talk about predictive programming first and foremost. So there's a new Netflix TV show. It is called 0 Day, and it is essentially about I don't want to say the word, but let's say a T attack, okay, happening in the United States and it wiping out the power grid, and then like all chaos ensues. I haven't actually seen the show, but I just saw the, I guess, advertisement for it, and immediately I knew what was going on, which is
Player B, that player A, that's a very powerful story. But guess what? Programming, predictive programming she's talking about, and she did a very powerful job by separating various types of programming. So now predictive programming with the 0 Day movie, I've also watched the 0 Day movie, is cool, but that is information. To every information is a storage, because every information is being stored in, some people call it the Akashic record. I like to call it Delta R, or you might want to call it hard drive. So that's it. So yeah, for there to be a perfect universe, sometimes we turn this stuff into entertainment so we can see the funniness. So yeah, so the programming from the 0 Day movie is old information. So that means our civilization was on that timeline before, and they recorded a story, and the story has been transformed from ages to ages in different forms. So the 0 Day movie is a timeline. We might experience that timeline if more people put energy to it. We might not experience that timeline if more people don't put energy towards it, or towards things that will lead to it. That's the end of player 1 video. So let's complete player 2 video and be right back to the talking.
Aluminium. Even bigger pieces. If we had a flywheel with 8 magnets, it jumps up but rattles a lot. What we see in here for a wire coil with AC power and aluminium is jumping up smoothly, and also the standard hum of a UFO that people hear when it flies. Hum.
Okay, So player B is creative and he's developing a teleportation device, and he's, for some people, you might say, yep, um player B is a futurist and he wants to create a teleportation device, which we have already seen in a couple of Star Wars movie, flying cars, flying scooter, and yeah, a UFO. So player A information is very important. Is she's talking about timeline. Player A energy is low dimensional energy because it is it's not really a negative information. It is positive, but it's not higher as compared to player B, because player B is um is based on his game and he's expanding his territory. Player A is also expanding her territory, but it's like um she can do way better than that, because on a higher dimension, players are no longer talking about conspiracy theory. We are becoming more practical with our information. We are expanding our territories, and we are experiencing consciousness, life, it, choice. So if I can conclude right here, I would like to say, on behalf of my team, um, player B is the winner. So therefore, player B, the energy from player B is going to yeah, help in my evolution and your evolution and in evolution of necessary freedom in the Benin seal. You have a wonderful time.